What's up, folks? This is Tony Brewer. You're listening to or watching, as the case may be, Cogitations. Cogitations is the podcast where we think about things, we contemplate them, we turn them over in our minds, and then we discuss them. Daniel chapter 7, verse 28, Daniel writes, "Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me. My countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart." We're not going to keep the matter in our heart. We're going to talk about it. Today, we're going to talk about a post that I stole from somebody. Stay tuned. I've got to type something. Now then, if you are watching from anywhere, I would love for you to watch on Rumble. Stop performing. You'll never please anyone anyway. You can bend over backward to make everyone happy, but someone will still call you arrogant, lazy, stingy, loud, or indecisive. It's a trap. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get right back into this as our platforms are building our audience. Hello, Diana Hardin. Good day to you. And good day to everybody else that's watching. Remember, subscribe to Cogitations on Apple Podcast on Apple. Come on, Tony. Apple, TuneIn Radio, Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, Spotify, and just about everywhere else you listen to podcasts. All right. Here we have our icon up in the top right. While it is there, I won't be able to see your comments. So here we go with the discussion of the podcast. Remember, we love your comments. All right. Be who God made you to be. Stop trying to please everyone. Every Christian who has lived long enough has learned an important truth. If you try to please everyone, you will end up pleasing no one and destroying yourself in the process. A simple post shared by one of my friends on Facebook captured it perfectly. I took that thought, expanded it, and developed it into this live stream, this article, because it captures an important biblical lesson about authenticity, wisdom, and godliness. Here's the thought. This is what I stole. If you act too smart, folk will say you're a know-it-all or arrogant. If you scale back, they think you are dumb. If you are more successful than someone else, they get jealous. If you fail, they think it is hilarious. If you are a natural leader who makes decisions easily, you are a dictator. If you do not make decisions fast enough, you are indecisive. If you talk too much, folks will say you are annoying. If you don't talk enough, they will say you are rude or standoffish or not approachable. If you are too generous, people take advantage. If you do not help, you are stingy. If you move too fast, folk will say you are spastic. If you move too slow, you are lazy. If you post too much on Facebook, you have no life. If you never post at all, you're just a stalker. The lesson is simple. If you want to be miserable, try to be a people pleaser. And something, look, I didn't think about this as I was developing this article, but it's big enough I want to bring it out now. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 13, I believe. No, it's Matthew, chapter 11. All right, bear with me. Bear with me. Verse 16, okay? So what happened was John the Baptizer was in prison, and he sent two men to talk to Jesus. And Jesus basically said, go and show John again those things which you do hear and see. And then he said, this is what you go show John. And then evidently there were some of the people that, well, I think maybe some of the people might have mocked John or was deriding John, because in verse 7, as they departed, Jesus began to say unto the multitude concerning John, what went ye out to see? Man, that's what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? What'd you go out to see? A man in soft raiment? Like, you knew who John was. You knew what John is. Verse 16. Oh, and then he says, John is out there in the wilderness eating locusts and well, he doesn't go on to say that. Hold on. Let me stick to the text. Verse 16. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is likened to children calling in the markets and calling unto their fellows and saying, We have piped unto you, and you have not danced, and we have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he hath the devil. The Son of Man, that's Jesus, came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a gluttonous man and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children. Folks, that's really the text for that post that I stole from my friend. We don't dance just because somebody plays a pipe. We don't cry just because somebody is sad. We don't jump to action just because somebody clutches pearls. Again, the lesson is simple. If you want to be miserable, try to be a people pleaser. Otherwise, just be the very best version of yourself. We're going to go to Proverbs 27. In fact, let me go to my e-sword. I'm just going to read Proverbs 27, 1 through 8, and then we'll go and we'll go walk down this material. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, not thine own lips. A stone is heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The full soul loatheth an honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. You see, Proverbs 27, 1 through 8 offers a clear and practical warning about the foolishness of depending on others' opinions, and it teaches the wisdom of simply being the person God expects you to be. So 27:1, boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Chasing man's approval often comes with grand plans about tomorrow. These are the future fakers. These are the, well, if we can just make it through December. Grand plans. Just live in the moment. Confidence must be placed in God, not in man's applause or future ambitions. Let me backtrack on something I said. That song, If We Make It Through December. Okay, having a goal in mind, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about saying, hey, if we make it through December and then just coasting till December, like December's magic. The reason that if we make it through December, we'll be all right, everything's going to be okay, is because we see some hurdles to overcome, some obstacles to overcome, some hurdles to jump over, some friction, if you will, to smooth out. And we know that we're going to work like dogs in order to do that. We've got the time from here to December, but that's not what's going on. This is a braggart. This is a person who's laying down plans, and he's doing it to get attention and get validation from others. You see, a man should not chase validation. Praise, if it comes, should come from others naturally, organically, not by seeking it or forcing it. Living for man's praise corrupts character. A stone is heavy and weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Proverbs 27:3. Pleasing people is exhaustive and burdensome, like carrying around a stone. The fool's anger, stirred by jealousy or pride, weighs more heavily than physical burdens. It is foolishness. It is foolishness to appease the anger or the wrath of a fool. Wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Proverbs 27:4. So again, no matter how careful you are, envy will come. Trying to avoid it by pleasing everyone is a fool's errand. You cannot appease envious people. Open rebuke is better than secret love, Proverbs 27:5. Honesty matters more than shallow approval. It is better to be corrected by somebody that loves you than to be praised by somebody who loves you in the open, but who secretly resents you. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful, Proverbs 27:6. Those who flatter you when you please them often betray you when you stop. I remember when I was in Bay, Arkansas, I got a phone call. This was back whenever I was trying to start up this little page called Life and Godliness. It was in association with a podcast that I was doing at the time, the Life and Godliness podcast. This dude called me on the phone and asked me a Bible question, and I gave him a pretty succinct but correct answer. And this guy compared me to Guy in Woods. Just doted on me. I mean, this dude was unctuous. Let me go to my launch pad here. Let me get the dictionary app. Where is the dictionary app? Do I not have a dictionary app on my computer? Well, there's the calculator. Oh, why is it hid? All right. Unctuous, UNCT. UOUS. Unctuous. Unctuous is an adjective, excessively flattering or ingratiating, oily. Of food or drink, it has a pleasingly rich taste. Of a mineral, it has a greasy or soapy feel. Let me give you the sycophantic is a come on, Tony. Hold on. I want to go back. Anyway, why have they changed this thing? I'm on Wikipedia. I don't want Wikipedia. I want dictionary right there. Sycophantic, behaving or done in an obsequious way in order to gain advantage. Well, I need obsequious. Obedient or attentive to an excessive or servile degree. So anyway, unctuous. People who flatter you, people who are sycophants, who flatter you when you please them, but often betray you when you stop. This fella that called me and asked me that Bible question, that doted on me and was unctuous and flattered me and told me how brilliant I was, the very first time we had a disagreement, I was the absolute dumbest person that ever walked the face of the earth. I was a false teacher. I was a nefarious individual that needed to be avoided at all cost. You see, my soul is full, so I didn't care about that guy's unctuous behavior. I didn't care about his flattery. The full soul loatheth the honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. If I hadn't have been secure in who I was and who I am, then I might have changed my viewpoint in order to have this guy keep flattering me. And then I wouldn't have been very happy with who I am because I've got to look at myself in the mirror just about every day. Anyway, so we need to make sure that we're just living for God and that we're taking care of ourselves and we're loving our neighbors as ourselves. It's pretty easy. So we don't want to go craving that attention. We want our soul to be full. I remember the story, and I can't remember. I feel like I told this on the podcast recently, but I may have. I know I told it at worship service Sunday. The first thing I did whenever I got a little bit of independence is I mixed me up a Betty Crocker cake batter, and I was going to eat that thing because it was a big deal in our house that whenever somebody made a cake, if you was over there, if you was a kid, you got to lick the bowl. I wanted to recreate some of that childhood, but souped up on steroids. I wanted to eat the whole cake batter. Y'all, that first bite I took, I was like a crack fiend, a dope fiend. That second bite was pretty good. And that third bite, I couldn't hardly get it down. And I wasted just about that whole cake batter. Because when something's good enough, when something's really, really rich, when something is unctuous, you can't take very much of it. It's pretty good the first time. It loses its intensity the second, about the third, you just don't want it. So the one who is full despises even these sweetest things, even the sweetest offerings. They despise. They don't want it because they're healthy. Some people will find fault no matter how good or genuine. Some people will find fault no matter how good or generous you are. So stop measuring yourself by their responses. Stay where you are. You're where you're supposed to be. You're the little bird in the nest, and you're getting fed by the mama bird that represents God in this case. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, in this manner is a man that wandereth from his place. If you leave your place trying to please all these people, then you're going to be like a little bird that falls onto the forest floor and dies from exposure, starvation, or being eaten. Period. Or you're going to die from the contact, from the contact with the impact, I should say. You see, a man who chases every shifting opinion leaves the safety and purpose of his own place. A wandering bird is vulnerable. A wandering soul is unstable and vulnerable to the wiles of the devil. Remember, he's a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. If you try to fit into everybody's mold, you'll end up missing the very purpose God gave you. We'll leave the nest. We will loathe the honeycomb because we'll be feeding on bitterness. Think about that. There is a honeycomb, and that's from God. But if you're already full of everything man gives you, you're not going to like the honeycomb that comes from God. And the stuff that man gives you, it's sweet, but it's kind of like Coca-Cola. I remember I learned this like not too long ago. Coca-Cola is a soft drink. It has no taste memory. You can drink 100 gallons of it, and it will taste the same to you at the first sip as it would the last sip. That's not the way the cake batter is. That's not the way the accolades of man are. Anything that man gives you, any honeycomb that the man gives you, it has a taste memory. You're going to take that first bite. Oh, it's going to be good. That second bite, that third bite, you won't hardly be able to stand it. You'll need more and more. That's the trap that you fall into when you become a people pleaser, and they cannot give you anything. You'll constantly be chasing the dragon. They cannot give you anything that can satiate that desire. But God's honeycomb, getting something from God, that will satiate our desire. It has no taste memory. It's just as sweet today as the first time you ever ate it. So here's what we can do. Focus on being the best version of who God made you to be. That's how you can constantly eat God's honeycomb. Stand where you're supposed to stand. Work where you're supposed to work. Serve with the gifts God gave you. Let others think what they will. Find your identity in Christ, not in applause or criticism. Paul wrote in Galatians chapter 1:10, "For do I now persuade men or God, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet pleased men, I should not be the servant of Christ." There's a specific context, but the general context is you can't serve two masters. You can't please man and please God, because man and God want two different things. They're contrary to one another. Trying to please everyone turns you into a slave to options. Serving Christ frees you to live in truth, love, and conviction. We cannot please everything we are not supposed to. Trying will only leave us frustrated, bitter, and empty. Be the best version of the person God created you to be. Feed your soul with the honeycomb of truth, faithfulness, not the scraps of man's fleeting approval. Stay at your post. Stay in your purpose. Stay in Christ. Man, I don't know about you. I needed to hear that. All right, let's go to our comments. Diana Harden, good day to you. Terry Crooks, good afternoon. Mike Osnes, good morning. Harold Jordan, thank you for showing up and commenting. Harold Jordan gives us some hands, raising hands. Good deal. George V. Williams, thank you so much. Good morning. And hey, Alabama. Now that I live by myself, I don't bake much. I only want one or two pieces, then I'm stuck with the whole thing. It's easier to spend the money for just one of something once in a while. Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, I get it, I get it. Um, yeah, you just want 1 donut, you don't want a dozen. So, if you bake a cake, you want you may just want a small piece of cake, you don't want a whole cake. I get it. Jason Goldtrap says, good afternoon, friends. I'm going home tomorrow. I'm still not allowed to drive, so my brother and his wife are driving from Daytona Beach to Tallahassee to take me to Haines City. Thank you, Jesus. Very, very good. I'm telling you, man, every time I read your post, well, this one's pretty specific, but the first one was, I misinterpreted. I thought you was dying. I didn't know what was going on. And then, of course, every time you make a post giving us an update and you use the phrase going home, I'm like, oh no, going home to be with the Lord? Anyway, I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're getting out. That's awesome. Let me tell you something, folks. So that's the end of the podcast. Let's talk about some stuff going forward. Um, I'm because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm gonna start another little project. I don't know when it's gonna start. I'm thinking about starting a locals page. We started a locals page a couple or 3 years ago. Uh, Whenever I was doing this on digital Bible study, I would like to get that local page. I need to reach out to Jonathan Jenkins, I guess, and see if I can either get that one shut down or assume ownership of it. There's nothing happening on it, but it's in Christianity Now, and yeah, that's about all we got. But so it's going to be a locals page, and it's going to be a YouTube video, a YouTube page, and a Rumble page with absolutely nothing on it, no live streams, no nothing, but little 5 and 10 minute theological explainer videos. So yeah, anyway, just look forward to that, and it'll be incorporated into what we normally do. Goldtrap says he's going home to be governed by 2 angry cats. Yeah, I'm telling you, Barry Odell loves cats, and for me, it's not that I don't love cat. Like, I don't have anything against cats, but well, I think I'm starting to see the appeal. Cats are kind of aloof. Cats are kind of aloof, but they don't really need you. Like, they choose you. And if you're friends with a cat, that's a pretty good friendship, and it's almost like 2 equals are friends. So I kind of get it. Um, I'm not saying that I'm going to get rid of old Maslow. That dog's laying over there. You think he's dead, except for his belly going in and out. He's breathing really slow and relaxed. Man, that dog's sleeping hard. Anyway, well, folks, I'm not going to belabor the point. I just wanted to make that one little announcement. I'm currently in negotiations with trying to get that started. I will tell you this. Let's do some oops captions is what I want. So let's walk down our captions. Subscribe to Cogitations on Spreaker.com, or just find it on wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe and like it. You can also be sure to follow us on Rumble. Just go to Rumble and search Christianity Now Streams. And then, of course, don't forget the P.O. Box, P.O. Box 99900, HR 567317 RPO Mountain Road, Moncton, New Brunswick, E1C0T1. And for show topics and questions, you can send an email to christianityisnow@gmail.com. And you can also request the address, and I'll type that out for you or copy and paste it. Don't forget about the Christianity Now group on Facebook. I'm glad to have a moderator to help me in there. I'm looking for more moderators. If you would like to share content in there and you would like to take advantage of the at everyone, the feature that tags everybody, you can do that 1 day a week. Let me know. Send me an email. Tell me you want to take ownership of that group a little bit, and we can have us a board of moderators that really grow that. Come on, Tony. Really grow that platform. And then don't forget about Substack. Substack. Go to Christianity Now or go to Substack and search Christianity Now and avail yourself of all the articles and such like. I will add a link in the comment section to the article that was released yesterday. I will release this material in the form of an article. Probably in a few hours. So yeah, that's all we've got. God bless every one of you. This has been Tony Brewer with Cogitations. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, go to Facebook and share and subscribe and all that stuff. And support us. That the way to support us is in the show notes. Don't forget about Patreon. God bless you, and we'll catch you on the flip